I guess in terms of what we're learning for 2018 is that we really don't want to let our soil pH run down, because otherwise, if we do, particularly in our topsoil, it means that acidity leaches and it starts to move into deeper down, and we start to have issues with that 10 to 20 centimetre area. So yeah, don't let your pH run down. Part of the problem is that we haven't been putting on enough lime, to stop that acidity from occurring in that 10 to 20 centimetres. So
It's switched on.
Yeah, so you can sort of see that this pH, this soil profile here with the heavy clay, we tend to find that sort of more alkaline at depth. In the top part of the soil, this farm has been liming, so it's sort of still acid, but not too bad. Then we hit this sort of yellow area, which is where we're concerned when we're picking up a lot more soil acidity in that area because we're not putting on enough lime to move down. So I'm having trouble with this microphone. Okay, so I guess the other key message that we want to get across is that under minimum chill, where we're applying our lime, I guess we're not sort of seeing it move so much in our heavy textured soils, and we're sort of starting to understand now that if we have got this deeper acidity, it's going to take decades to potentially fix with this surface liming, and it will require high rates to do that. So I'll talk a little bit more about that. So just a little bit of background as to why soil acidity is such a problem, and it's sort of mainly to do with that as we lower our soil pH, we get more aluminium coming into solution, and that affects root growth. So at about pH 4.8, that's when this soluble aluminium comes into play. So you can sort of see the effect on the root. So this is a pH of 4, so that's in calcium chloride. That's obviously very low. We probably have about 50% aluminium in it. We've certainly seen those sort of levels down in the Otways, in some of the dairy country where we've seen 50% aluminium in the soils. But I guess in most of the cropping country, though, we've sort of seen it around sort of 20% when the pH is sort of pretty low at around sort of below 4.5. So you can sort of see the effect on root growth. So this has had lime in it at that 10 to 20 centimetres, and this is where it obviously has no lime. The concern is not too many roots there to be able to take up any of those nutrients that are there, but particularly to go down and access any depth moisture. The other thing that I guess when we start to get into low pH, that's when we start to run into issues with our soil biology. So when we drop below a pH of 5, our soil biology doesn't do as well, and particularly rhizobia starts to be killed off. And I suppose when we start to get more of this aluminium in solution within the soil, it also starts to tie up some of the phosphorus as well. So, we're starting to reduce some of our nutrients, and also soil biology, which starts to cycle in the soil, starts to sort of break down that organic matter and release nutrients. That isn't happening as good either. So we're starting to sort of, I guess, our soil acidity is starting to impact on a whole lot of, I guess, soil functions, but also biological functions, and sort of nutrient availability and chemistry functions as well within the soil. I guess some of the learnings that we had from 2018 in terms of aluminium is that in one of our subsoil acidity trial that we do with New South Wales Ag, they've been looking at alternatives to lime, and they were looking at organic amendments, and they've actually sort of found that the organic carbon actually starts to bind up some of this aluminium in the soil, so that's sort of promising. Some of the other work that started to filter through was on gypsum from Western Australia, and that's sort of been an area where we haven't thought, the message was that gypsum wasn't effective in reducing acidity, but they're now finding that they think that the sulphate component of gypsum is starting to bind up some of that aluminium as well. So that was work that was coming out of 2018. So that certainly looks promising. On the other side of things, they're also telling us that it can slow down the breakdown of lime as well by applying gypsum, but we don't know at what sort of rates that might be. So that's sort of some new work that's come through. The types of soil acidity that we're seeing, we're certainly seeing a lot of surface acidity, where we've just got the acidity sort of sitting in that top 10 centimetres. So where your pH drops below 5. Then we're also starting to see, as we mentioned before, more of this acidity occurring in the subsurface, which is sort of 10 to 20 centimetres. And this is sort of occurring on soils which probably haven't seen a lot of lime. We've still been sort of cropping them and I guess removing that alkalinity. It is sort of, we are seeing enough of it to say that it is sort of relatively common, and we certainly found it on one of our sort of sandier areas within our Lake Bolac trial site, where they did have a history of lime, but what we do see is the pH being quite reasonably high in the top 10 centimetres, but still we're seeing acidity issues at 10 to 20 centimetres. So that Lake Bolac site was at 4.3 at 10 to 20. The subsoil acidity, which we sort of define as 20 to 30 centimetres, we're not finding so much of that. We have found a few sites, and that's been on more sort of sandier country where we've got lower pH buffering capacity, so the acidification has occurred a lot faster. So we've got a trial site at Rokewood on a sort of sandy alluvial soil. We've also set up one this year at Stall as well. But in that case, you can sort of start to see that the pH starts to not only fall at 10 to 20, but it's starting to impact at 20 to 30 centimetres as well. And you can sort of see the range in pH there too across the trial site. So it's, the trial site itself is about 100 by 150 metres, and even within that trial site, there's sort of variation there. Where you get some sort of really low areas of pH. So I guess the interesting thing about the subsoil acidity trial site, and I'll sort of present some results on that, but it's certainly, you don't want to let your pH drop down that low, because we can sort of fix the stuff on the surface. We can probably fix the stuff at 10 to 20 centimetres, but at 20 to 30 centimetres it becomes really difficult. And in the deep sandy soils in Western Australia, that's what they're sort of faced with now. They've let their pH run down in that top soil. Now they're trying to fix up that acidity at 20 to 30 centimetres. So this is just a slide showing you the different types of acidity that we're seeing, and also, I guess, the impacts potentially on yield. So this is where we've got no acidity problems and the roots can sort of grow all the way down. In this part, we've got just surface acidity, so the roots are restricted in that surface area. The roots can go down and get that moisture at depth and nutrients. This is where we get the profile's acid all pretty much the way down, and so we're getting all that reduced root growth, and that's impacting on yield. And I guess that's the worst type of acidity that we can have. And this is what we're sort of starting to see more of, where we're starting to lime at that, and that lime's working at sort of 10, at that 0 to 10 centimetres, so we're getting some root growth in those areas at 10 to 20, but we've got this, we're creating this more acid area below, and we're unable to sort of potentially fix that. And this is where, we're not getting root growth potentially. So why are we seeing this deeper acidity? There are a few reasons for this, and I just sort of want to show you some work that was done with Mark Conyers from New South Wales Ag. So this is a soil pH along the 0 to 10 centimetre depth, and this is pH at 10 to 20 centimetres. The open circles are nil lime, the triangles are 2 tonnes of lime per hectare, and that's the 8 tonnes of lime per hectare. So this was, I guess, this was surface applied lime, and you can sort of see that at the standard rates, we shift the pH along the 0 to 10 centimetres a bit, but we're not really impacting on shifting it at 10 to 20 centimetres. Whereas the high rates, they create that sort of saturation of alkalinity that can then sort of move down the profile. So what we're sort of finding is that we need that topsoil pH to be greater than 5.5 for it to move down below 10 centimetres. I guess part of the problem with the surface liming is that it exacerbates, I guess, that lime movement. It sort of ameliorates this acidity up in the top 5 centimetres, but it essentially runs out before it can reach below 10 centimetres. I guess most of our testing has only been at 0 to 10 centimetres, and that's been mostly the focus of our liming has been on fixing up the acidity in that area. We haven't been sort of calculating enough to put on to ameliorate that acidity at depth. So this is just, I guess, showing you some lime movement results that we've had at our Ballerine trial site, where we initially started incremental testing at sort of every inch, and then at every sort of 5 centimetres. So this is over the 4 years, and in a loamy type soil. This is the nil lime, sort of sitting around about that sort of 4.2. Going down to sort of, I think it's about 4.3. And you can sort of see as we add we've added our lime, each year that has moved out a little bit more. We've got more and more sort of pH increase. This is our lime in April 2017, April 2018. This line here in April 2017 is a bit of a blip, but we trust more the April 2018 results. So we've got good pH change up in that top sort of inch, and as that sort of line sort of slowly starts to move down as it gets saturated, we're sort of finding though that most of the line movement has only really been to about sort of in between that 5 and 10 centimetre mark, probably about sort of 7.5 centimetres, 8 centimetres, and there's we're not seeing much pH change below that. So it just sort of indicates that the more you let your pH run down, the more likely that all your lime will be spent sort of ameliorating that acidity in the top part and not kind of not being able to sort of reach down further. So the idea is to sort of think of your soil as a sponge, have it sort of saturated with alkalinity so that alkalinity can move further down the surface, down the profile. So this is some trials results from 2018 where we've gone back and we've tested a lot of our trial sites just to see what sort of pH change we were getting at 5 to 10 centimetres. Because the pH change in the top 5 was pretty good, usually around a pH unit of 1. And sort of what we sort of found is that there was differences between the light textured and the heavy textured soils, and that's a reflection on the pH buffering capacity, and also I guess in rainfall areas as well, that sort of helps facilitate that lime movement. So in both the pasture and crop trials, we're sort of seeing about 0.4 of a pH unit change below 5 centimetres, but in our heavier textured soils, we're only sort of seeing about 0.1 of a pH difference at 5 to 10 centimetres. And certainly at 2 of our trial sites, we saw no pH change below 5 centimetres, and which I sort of thought was maybe a little bit odd, but there was a paper released in 2018 that showed some results from New South Wales where they didn't have pH change below 5 centimetres after 11 years. And they were certainly applying enough lime, high rates of lime, and also using superfine lime as well. So it's sort of starting to highlight a real issue with these sort of heavy, these sort of heavier clays or clay loams where they've sort of got pH buffering capacity, that they're not going to let that lime move down very easily at all. We're not going to see that pH change. So what we know about lime movement now is that it's sort of moving, it's governed by soil chemistry, and it's slow. So it's only going to move at about 1 to 3 centimetres per year. So 1 centimetre probably on our heavier clay soils and heavier clay loams, maybe, and a bit faster on our lighter textured soils. In terms of calculating lime rates, what we have been what we haven't been doing well is that we've been sort of concentrating our lime rates on our 0 to 10 centimetres and not so much calculating them for 10 to 20 and 20 to 30. And I just sort of wanted to highlight an issue here, is that when we sort of target our pH so that our lime sort of starts to move, we'll aim for a pH of 5.8 to get that saturation of alkalinity so that the lime moves below. But when we get to 10 to 20 centimetres, when we target our pH, if we target at 4.8 to take out our aluminium, which is good, it's not going to be high enough to move down to that lower level where our pH potentially is low at 4.7. So that was at this is the results of our Roadwood trial. So we really need to have that pH around 5.8 as well. So we're starting to having to put on higher and higher rates of lime to try and do that. And at this site it's a sandy lime, so the lime's probably going to move at about 2 centimetres per year. So even if we put on high enough rates, we're probably looking at least 10 years before we got our lime down to that 20 centimetre mark. If it was a clay loam soil, it might take, you're looking at sort of 1 centimetre per year, you're looking at 20 years to get that lime down there. So that's a long time. That's kind of for the kids to take over the farm and sort of see the results of your liming. That's sort of the dilemma that we face with if we don't start to incorporate that lime. So that moves us into some of our lime incorporation and lime rate work. I've reported on these in the trial results booklet. Just starting to we've been playing around with just starting to see what happens with under different higher rates and under different incorporation methods. Certainly, this is a trial set up in 2016 at Inverleigh and at Drysdale. We certainly didn't see any lime responses in the first year. That's pretty typical because lime can take 12 to 18 months to dissolve. In the second year at the Inverleigh site, we didn't see an effective incorporation method, but we did sort of see that we got a significant difference with lime rate. So at the 5 tonne per hectare of lime, we increased wheat yield by 0.2 of a tonne. So not a lot, but still a little bit. At our in canola 2018, we didn't see a lime response. And that sort of, although we sort of talk about canola being quite potentially acid sensitive, we haven't really been picking that up in our trials. At Drysdale in 2018, we did sort of see a significant response again to lime rate at 5 tonnes per hectare. We were getting an extra 0.6 tonne per hectare of canola, of barley, and the incorporation method started to show a little bit of a response. Wasn't statistically significant. I think as a p-value it was 0.6. And just on our subsurface, on our subsoil acidity trial site at Rokewood, we're just first year results. We were sort of where, I guess, with all of the treatments, the lime was being incorporated into the surface to start with, because we were mainly looking at what the effects were at 10 to 20 centimetres. So we can sort of see with the surface lime, and thesis time, we were starting to sort of see a significant, more of a sort of significant increase in biomass, in mainly in the treatments that had been deep ripped. Not so much seeing any responses from, I guess, that we can sort of separate out from anything else, but it's sort of showing us that sort of deep ripping is having an effect on probably opening up that soil and getting moisture, more moisture availability in that first year. In terms of yield, only we saw a significant difference with the deep rip and organic amendment, which was more of a nitrogen effect because there was 200 to 300 kilos of nitrogen in that in those lucent pellets. So it's sort of early days yet. You know, lupins are quite acid tolerant, and we'll just be really interested to see how that sort of plays out. And we don't expect to see that deep ripping effect in that second year, as those sort of slots will sort of close up and we won't sort of see so much moisture availability down there. So the new focus next year, this year, is more trialling to do, focusing on more techniques to try and get that lime down at 10 to 20 centimetres. We've also got a PhD student that will be starting looking at lime, investigating lime testing and performance. And just, I guess, the take-home message is really, you know, that I suppose sort of, that I've sort of woken up to in 2018 is just, you know, not letting that pH run down in that topsoil, because it's going to create a world of pain for you trying to fix that. Being able to, I guess, identify those constraints and where your acidity is within the profile, and then sort of calculating enough lime requirements to fix them is really important. And, you know, it sort of hit home this year that if we wanted to, you know, certainly for fast removal of acidity, particularly deeper acidity in sort of heavy textured soils, that we would probably need to be looking at incorporating lime. And that's it. Thank you.
Any questions, Lisa?
Lisa, in terms of the soil pH buffering value, is that a standard generic value, or is that calculated using something like CEC, or how is that formulated?
Well, I mean, I guess the way that we've been sort of getting an idea about the soil pH buffering capacity, it's sort of related to soil texture or related to clay content, and also organic matter as well. The organic matter's got the biggest impact on soil buffering capacity. So you can sort of see, say for a sandy loam, that for 1 tonne of lime per hectare, we get about a 0.57 pH change with it. For a clay texture, we need, we only get, in that 1 tonne, we only sort of see pH change by about 0.26 of a pH unit. So we can relate it back to texture, but then we know that the organic matter plays a big part in it as well. So for a lot of our lime calculations, we sort of use both the clay texture, the clay component as a reflection of texture, and also the organic matter content. And if people want an idea of how to calculate lime requirements, I can sort of send them an information sheet on how to do that.
Yeah, one more. Okay, go on.
Lisa, we're with farmers who have done 0 to 10 soil soil test and it's come back at 5.6, 5.8, but we know that the 5 to 10 or the 5 to 15 is still quite acidic. You're saying that in that situation, if we put a good rate of lime on, that should help that leach that and get a quicker change. But by where we've already got that 0 to 5 quite alkaline already, by putting a good dose of lime on that, is that actually going to induce other problems? And how long is that lasting effect? I mean, it's potentially going to change that top 5 centimetres to quite an alkaline scenario, isn't it?
Well, the lime itself will sort of stop dissolving because it won't, the lime will only dissolve under sort of acidic conditions. So what will keep happening is that you'll keep fixing the acidity up in that top 5 centimetres as that soil sort of keeps re-acidifying. The danger is that that lime's not going to move down, unfortunately, particularly if that soil is a sort of a clayey-based soil. So there's I guess certainly some of the murmurings from other states has been that we're not going to fix it with surface supply liming. It's just going to stay confined to that 5 centimetres. So we need to be incorporating it.
Okay, we'll have to keep going. Can everybody put their hands together?